Well, hey everyone, and welcome back to Tactical Review. So today we are going to tackle one of the recommended upgrades for a Glock pistol. Yeah, I know, Glock perfection, right? Even as a Glock fan, I'm here to tell you that's not really true. A Glock is absolutely serviceable out of the box, but there's some quality of life improvements that are highly recommended. We're not going to go through the laundry list of those, but today we are going to be looking at a ghost trigger disconnector. Now specifically, I have gone for the Combatives application trigger, which is a 4.5 pound disconnector from the Handgun Combatives store. Highly recommended, and I think designed in conjunction between Ghost Triggers and Dave Spalding of Handgun Combatives. They call this a semi-drop-in because it should go into 99% of all Glock pistols with no problem. Obviously the ones that it's designed for, this is made for Gen 1 through 4 Glock pistols, except for the 42 and 43 single stack variants. So anyway, this should lighten our trigger pull. I'm going to do an install video for my Gunstreamer and BitChute channels. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to poke the bear a little bit, and in the pinned comment I will have a link to the trigger disconnectors as well as to the install videos on the other platforms. You should just be able to find that on the channel and find the link in the description. So anyway, first thing we're going to do is obviously we are going to make sure that we have a cleared weapon. We're going to take the magazine and just put it away so that no accidents can happen. And just to make sure that we're making some headway, how about we start with a baseline for the trigger pull. Just a cheapy analog gauge. Boy, that one broke at just over 7 pounds. Six and a half pounds. And just shy of 6.5 pounds. Now, I don't know how many thousands of rounds I have on this stock trigger and this Glock grip frame. I can tell you it's north of 3,000 and well south of 10,000. And this is the second time I've measured this, and right around 6.5 pounds is the pretty typical break. On top of lightening the trigger pull, which we will measure, and that's why we got our baseline. The C.A.T 4.5 trigger is also supposed to shorten the over travel. And so let's see if we can get in here a little bit closer, and we'll see what we're talking about here as far as what that over travel and what the actual mechanics of the Glock trigger pull look like. Alright, once again, clear chamber. Love it or hate it, one nice thing about Glocks is that the trigger feels the same in basically all of them. Alright, so down here at the bottom of the trigger shoe, you have about a full 1/4 inch of take up. You hit a very pronounced wall. Just a little bit of creep. And then that 6.5 pound or so of break. And then as the trigger breaks, it travels about another 1/8 of an inch in there. And then that reset comes forward, comes forward, comes forward, comes forward, comes forward, before you have that tactile and audible trigger reset. So now then we're going to see about improving that. Alright, super simple install. Now let's check the fruits of our labor. Alright, we still have about the same kind of take up, but without measuring, it just feels like so much lighter of a trigger. 5.5 pounds on that. That one broke at 6. 4. Alright. When I measure it down here at the bottom of the trigger shoe, I'm getting right at 4 pounds to break the trigger. 4.5. When I measure it up a little bit higher in the belly of the trigger, which is where I was measuring it originally, I'm getting about 5.5 pounds. I don't know where Glock measures. Now, given the fact that I seem to recall factory Glock advertising between 5.5 and 6 pounds of trigger pull, I'm going to guess that they measure down here at the bottom of the shoe as well. Regardless, we dropped about 1 pound of trigger pull off of the, or about 1 pound of pull weight off of the trigger. And things, without having gone out to the range, things just feel slightly crisper. The take up and wall don't change that much. But the reset feels maybe slightly shorter. And once again, if you're going to undertake this, you're going to want to do the dry fire like I'm doing right here. Make sure that you are feeling and hearing that reset. And then make sure that you're hearing the striker drop. Okay. And then obviously, ideally, you would get out to the range with it before you made it your EDC. That, once again, is on you and what you can do. And yeah, I realize that right now, in April of 2020, we're in slightly strange days. Guys, thanks for watching. Again, I don't know if this is something you feel like you want to do, an undertaking you feel comfortable with. And externally, again, there's very little change. It's a stock trigger, it's the stock shoe, it's the stock safety in the trigger shoe. The only thing that we've changed is the disconnector. So this is something that even a lot of police departments would allow on officers' duty weapons. Appreciate you guys joining me today. If you're following the channel on social media, you got a little bit of a sneak peek at this. If you're not, and you're a little aggravated that you didn't get that sneak peek, you can do that on Instagram and Facebook with this username right here. If you feel like you would like to support what I'm doing here at Tactical Review, you can do that directly over at Patreon with this link right here, or a link in the description. If you'd like to help support the channel a little bit, but you want to get a little something back for that, you can do that over at the merchandise store at Teespring. If you enjoy content like this, really appreciate a thumbs up on the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you ring that notification bell so you know when I upload new stuff. Speaking of YouTube, it's also a good idea to use the links down in the description and also follow the channel over on Gunstreamer or BitChute, just in case YouTube decides to start deplatforming gun channels. Guys, I appreciate your support. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, shoot straight, stay safe.